Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show, December 27th, the last show of the year. And we are back live again on social media here downtown Minneapolis at WCCO. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted every weekend by Mike Overson, Luminate Bank, Mr. Scott Wolmering, and myself, Ryan O'Neill, with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. We appreciate you joining us in studio today. Steve Stalock, Mike, Scott, top of the morning to you there, guys.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like Ryan said, this is going to be here for the next hour. Love your questions. That number.
For talk a little bit, but what were 2020? At any point, 612-294-6949 is how you can interrupt us. A lot going on, a lot to talk about. And Mike, it's kind of prediction season here. Interest rate update. Saw your email earlier this week. Looks like rates. So yeah, what's the latest? Give us the skinny.
So, if we kind of recap 2025 here, we did see some 7% interest rates earlier in the year, but as we went through the year, rates did come down into the low sixes, and we've seen that steady low 6 interest rate, for the last probably good 4 months or so. And so I think that's going to continue. I think we're going to see a lot of stability in interest rates. I think that's going to propel us to have a very busy spring coming up here. Maybe we see rates drift a little bit lower, but I don't think they're going to go as low as a lot of us had predicted even towards the beginning of last year. So I know a lot of us were thinking 5.5% is what we would hit sometime this year. We didn't get there. We did get to like 5.875, maybe just for a couple weeks, but hung around that 6 to 6 1/8 for a good chunk. So as long as we can ride that stability, the interest rate stability here, maybe even drift down a little bit more in 2026, it's going to be very busy for us.
Well, when we were doing the show last week, we were talking when Ryan was actually in the green room waiting for his big concert with give me sparkling water without the sparkles, that kind of a guy. We were talking about the fact that it was Wells Fargo and Bank of America and US Bank and all of these kind of powers of industry when they had predictions of what was going to happen in 2026 and 2027 for interest rates. They were all like 5.9% to 6.2, 6.3. I mean, it was just bunched very, very little. So I think the thought of us going into the fives is, if it happens, it would be no one's predicting it.
Right, exactly. And so that's why I think we're going to see the stability like we've seen here the last half of 2025 that's going to go into 2026. I wouldn't expect rates to fall out of the bottom by any means, but I would expect that stability to hang around 6%.
Hey, again, you're welcome to join us, 612-294-6949. We are live here in downtown Minneapolis, and you can ask us anything, preferably real estate related, but it doesn't have to be. We got a caller, Rye. Who's on the line? Who's on the horn with us? Carl today?
We got Carl. Carl, go ahead, please.
Yeah, you like fruitcake?
Yeah, we love fruitcake.
Yes, go ahead. We love fruitcake.
Senior citizens, let me just tell you, I'm 80 years old, and I got my home paid off, and everybody tells me I should stay here, but I want to just liquidate. Is there any reason that I should stick around and keep the home? I paid $38,000 for it. They tell me it's worth $610 now.
Where is it?
I don't know, but Timber Grove Heights.
Yeah, Carl, great question. I'm surprised we don't get more of this with everybody getting a little bit older in Minnesota. It really is a personal,
or everyone getting older everywhere.
Getting older everywhere.
Scott,
but
it's just Minnesota.
It's really a personal thing, because at this point, are you really concerned on whether the house is going to continue to go up, whether it's 610 now and 5 years from now it's 650? Not really. I mean, you've made your dough. You bought it for 38 grand. You've done everything you should have done. If it was my dad, I would probably say, why don't you do it? I mean, what do you want to do? You want to cash out and have a little bit of fun? I'd probably say cash out and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, kind of the anti-realtor thing in me just says, don't sell it, just hold on to it. But I think Scott's point is the key. It's something we're big on here at the show, is just doing what you want to do. I think at the end of the day, if it is selling the house, maybe it is selling it and taking monies and doing what you want to do with it. We're going to dive in, Carl, to the numbers here in a second. I mean, it's even in the winter, people often say, is it a good time to sell a house? Well, you're going to hear we've got very limited inventory. And so again, depending upon price point and area, you're going to find people are interested. And so, thanks for calling in. Good for you, Carl. My gosh, you own it free and clear. I mean, God bless you. $38,000 worth $600. That for young first-time home buyers, that's the power of real estate. Even now is buying and call us in 30 years.
Yeah, well, and the other thing that pops into my brain, just because I've been doing this since Moby Dick was a guppy, so I've seen all the ups and downs and whatever else, is that you've got 610 in probably the highest sellers market that we've ever seen. And there was maybe 4 months in 2022 where it was a little bit higher, but for the most part, you are maxing out on the absolute highest amount that you could get for your house. Does that continue over 5 years? Do we hit another little, we're not going to hit a 2008, but do we hit a setback where prices go down? In your situation, what you have right now.
Yeah, again, thanks for joining us. We're going to keep talking a little bit, Carl, after the break here. We do love fruitcake. So thank you for that. Hope you and your family had a great Christmas. You're having a wonderful holiday season. Appreciate y'all joining us. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hey, thanks, social media friends. Sorry, we're losing a little internet connection there. So sorry, we were kind of intermittent. You could maybe see Mike's mouth moving, but no vocal. Steve, good to see you, buddy. Steve Stalock, Win Home Inspection. Thanks for being here, bud.
Good to be here. And kind of Scott was saying how everyone in Minnesota is getting older.
Yes.
In his defense, Minnesota years are like dog years because of our cold weather.
Yes.
So if you are 40 years old in Minnesota, that's equivalent to 60 anywhere else. So you're
agree
kind
with
of
that.
onto something.
I agree with that. Well, my point was, it's the graying of Minnesota. I forgot the age, but in the next 10 years, I think everybody's going to be 58, 62. I don't remember the number.
Yeah.
But it was a high number.
Yeah.
And so everybody's getting graying of Minnesota. Let's take
Yeah. I mean, or the great. Hey. Welcome back to the second segment of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We appreciate you joining us. Thanks for all your support. Just very briefly, I did want to mention a huge thank you to all the WCCO listeners, as well as to Scott, Mike, Steve Stalock, who is a great sponsor of our charity concerts we did for the O'Neill Foundation of Hope. It was 2 shows last weekend, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Scott, I saw you right in the front row at the 7 o'clock. Give us just a brief review. What do you think?
It was awesome, and they're always awesome. But this year, I thought was exceptionally good. Packed house, and Ryan and his brother face off with pianos on stage. And what I always was the most amazed at, with my fat fingers, it takes me 10 seconds to actually text. So when I watch you guys play, it just, I don't understand how you don't hit the wrong key every once in a while. But anyways, they'll take requests from the people in the audience. And I was just always amazed that it didn't matter what song it was. His brother would be like, oh, that brings me back to 1991. And then he would just start, and then Ryan would be like, oh gosh, you fool, it does.
The funny thing is, of course, with the last name of O'Neill, we are Irish. And so one of them in the basket, we asked people to write them in the basket. One of them says, do you Irishmen know any polkas?
Yes.
So, of course, I grew up in New Prague. I mean, what do you think? We know some polkas. So we sang a little beer barrel polka. Mike, we got to pull you up on stage. I know you're a huge supporter. Big thanks to Luminate, who made a huge donation to the show, helping the O'Neill Foundation of Hope. We're going to bring you on stage, bud.
Tell you what, if you want a really good polka banger, apples, peaches, pumpkin pie. Do you know that one?
Yes.
Dude, that's killer. I play that at like our football tailgates, and people just go nuts.
That's fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah, no, it was a great night. Everybody's dressed up. Saw a lot of radio listeners
Yeah.
that had come up and said they listened to the show, and that's how they got their tickets. So it was cool.
Yeah, big thanks to WCCO, the great team here. Of course, Ryan Perpich, just the entire team here. Just super grateful for them sharing the word about the O'Neill Foundation of Hope. A lot of money was raised, most importantly, helping 3 to 4 families a week locally who are experiencing hardships. These are good people, again, who have jobs. They're doing their best to make it in life. Often they kind of slip through the cracks. So again, just really appreciate everybody stepping out and your support. Scott, I'm diving back into wise as you were just kind of sharing pending sales, your Scott.
About seven.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's just a repeat of the last basically 4 or 5 years that we've seen. And the numbers literally, if you go back and look at, we looked at the numbers last year, we're 2% under where we're at last year at this time. We're really, really close to the exact same inventory numbers as last year. And it's just going to be a repeat. Our interest rates, I believe, are going to be more stable this year, which that's going to help buyers get off the fence and get back into the market. So it's probably going to make it a little bit busier of a spring. So definitely, if you're a buyer and you don't have a house to sell, between now and the end of February is your best time to buy. If you have a house to sell and you're going to wait for the spring, just know you're probably going to gain it on one side and lose it on the other. You're going to get 15 to 20 grand more for your house in the sale, but you're going to pay 15 to 20 grand more when you go compete against the other buyers.
Well, and again, we talk a lot about what are the best 1-2 punches right now. That's a really good example of that. In my opinion, if you are selling under 500 and buying over 500, you're stepping up. Right now is the best time to do that because you're still maxing out on your under 500 number. That's going to be a banger number. But you're buying in a little bit of a depressed market in that 6-7. That will not be depressed come the spring market. So again, it depends on your situation. And we're always here, obviously, 612-294-6949 if you want to talk off air about whether the situation is good for you or not. But it does depend.
Yeah, I had a text question came in. It says, "Good morning, team. Please explain how mortgage rates relate to 10-year bonds when Jay Powell is replaced in 2026. It is reasonable to expect lower mortgage rates? ? Elaborate if possible."
Yeah, so typically when the 10-year treasury bonds, when they go up, interest rates go up. So, the bond market, the treasury market, and then the mortgage-backed securities market are on a teeter-totter. So when one goes up, the other goes down. So as 10-year treasury bonds go up, the mortgage market goes down. And as the mortgage market gets worse, interest rates get worse, meaning the interest rates go up. So that's kind of the relationship between those two there. And the second part of that question was
when the Fed chair is replaced.
Yeah. So there's going to be a Fed chair replacement here in May, right? So a lot of people are kind of like circling May on their calendar of what happens when the current Fed chair goes out and the new one comes in. What does that do to interest rates, right? Does the new Fed chair, is he more hawkish or is he more bearish on certain things?
Or she.
No, it's a he.
Wow. Jeez.
It is. I already know who it's going to be. It's going to be the what doesn't matter. It's going to be a he.
It'll be a bit of
Okay.
Yep. So who knows, right? It's one of those things where that's the X factor. We don't know, right? We don't know exactly what's going to happen when the new person takes over.
Yeah, again, 6 join us, Real Estate Show. Of a first 40 were first-time home buyers. Not good.
Not
Steve,
good.
I see you shaking your head. Do you have thoughts to share on that one, Steve?
Well, I just look back at my personal experience. Bought my first house in the mid-20s, and Scott said, "Well, do you know what it was 10 years ago?" I'm guessing it was probably in the mid-20s.
I think it was 24 or 25 10 years ago. And now the number that I thought was 38, but 40, it sounds, and we've talked about this on the show. If that continues, we have a problem. That's your trickle up econ. Home buyers, it is not the market. And if that sustains itself, we will trouble over time.
Yeah, again, 612-294-6949 is how you can join us with any questions at all. I just had a commentary saying, do you guys expect any real dip
time home buyers can gobble those up. And so now your buyer pool has shrunk by that much because, well, you take out first time home buyers because there's nothing out there in the market in their price point. Well, now that slows the rest of the chain or the rest of the group up the chain there.
Well, and I know we're up against a break, but we can talk about this maybe when we get back. But you also have to remember, 2006 to about 2013, huge hedge fund, a ton of property in the Twin Cities that they're keeping as rentals. So again, you throw in the refinance boom, you throw in the fact that all those homes are off the market. So do we have a shortage of homes? I don't think so. Do we have a shortage of homes on the market? Absolutely.
Yeah, I just again, really good question. I appreciate you asking that one, and it's tough sledding for a lot of, again, our friends, all of the real estate friends at the different companies. Any really good agent maybe have 2, 3, 5 active buyers that they literally can't find a home for their people. And that's unusual. Again, in the years that I've done this, very unusual. Hey, we're at the halfway point, the Minnesota Real Estate Show. You're welcome to join us, 612-294-6949. I loved Carl's question. Thinking of you, Carl, owning that real estate your whole life. Any young people listening to the show, that is the goal. Buy something. I have a friend whose son just bought a home. He is, I think, 20 years old. I'm like, good for you. Good for you. The power of real estate. We'll be back after the break. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Sorry for the snafus. Social media, we're having a little internet connection today, guys. That's life.
That is life. I'm thinking about his question again. You don't think, there's not a lack of actual physical homes. It's just a lot of them have been, like I said, just kind of drifted off the market in different ways, and so they're not available.
I think there's an argument, though, that there is a lack of actual housing.
Because new construction shut. They jacked it back up.
Well, it's getting the numbers and statistics. It's still an actual lack.
Yeah.
Do you remember the graph I showed of new homes built per decade, and how it was 2010 to 2020 was way down because we're going under and closure and now it's like
thought with the new administration, they would get creative to do things that I wouldn't necessarily agree with that could drive interest rates down. That hasn't materialized. So, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what our predictions were.
Yes. Looking back here, the thing that caught me this year that caught my eye, if you will, is the talk about a 50-year mortgage.
Yeah.
You know, it's clearly on the radar if there's talks,
Yeah.
right? There was like, okay, do we do a 50-year mortgage? Do we do the transferable interest rate? So if you have a 3% 30-year fix on your house now, can you transfer that rate to your next house?
Yeah.
And there's been talks about that. So it's there, right? The thought process is there. They're talking about it, but there's nothing that has surfaced that's really been like, yep, this is what we're going to do. It's just talks for now.
Well, yeah, and understand that, guys. You know, we've talked about this before, and I've said, I don't care if God himself is in the president's office or President Trump or President whoever. They do not control interest rates. They don't control housing prices. So I get tired of reading all the housing prices are still up. You know, this administration said they were going to lower it, which they did, which was dumb because they don't have control of it. It is a free market system. It's driven by a free market. Less homes on the market, prices are more. A lot of homes on the market, prices are less. Interest rates are driven by a lot of things, but a bad economy is the best thing for it, which we had when COVID hit, you know, which of course we don't want to have happen, but that's why rates were at 2.7%. So so nobody has control of it. It's a free market.
Hey, we like to feature some listings every week. The first one we're going to feature Michelle Erickson, agent on the Minnesota real estate team, Remax Advantage Plus, has one in Afton, 15800 33rd Street in Afton, priced for $275,000. It's a beautiful lot in downtown historic Afton. She said it's ready to enjoy as is or be built upon with the city. It's a block away from the St. Croix with river views year round. A lot is graded with a new retaining wall added. There's an architectural concept plan. 3D model are also available. Spring-fed pond in the northeast corner. It's zoned residential, commercial. Again, 15800 33rd Street in Afton for $275,000. Very nice, a nice property. The other one, Scott, Mike, and Steve, is Gary Tim has one in Maple Grove, 9062 Archer Lane North in Maple Grove, $429,900. It is a beautifully renovated one-level townhome. It's in the Chapel Wood Additions, 3-bed, 3-bath, open layout with a gas fireplace and a sunroom, brand new composite deck, large newly carpeted family room, immense storage area, all new stainless steel appliances are included, making it ready, move-in ready. Check that out, 9062 Archer Lane North, Maple Grove, $429,900. Steve Stalock, Win Home Inspection, you are a wonderful partner. All of our great partners are at mnrealestateshow.com. These are people that we trust, that most importantly take care of our clients, take care of the listeners. Steve, great to have you on, bud.
It's a great foggy day, but we're here and we're plugging along.
What do you got for us? How was the year for Win Home Inspection for you? I was just asking you before the show, do you ever take a day off? You are always working every show, every weekend you're driving somewhere for an inspection.
Yeah, I do block a few days off. I do block one day midweek. It's a mom day. So that I kind of move my weekend into the weekday. But for the most part, yeah.
When you say it's a mom day, it's because you take care of your mom on that day.
It's
Not
the
that
one
in
day-
general you go out to mom's places.
No. You know, it never really occurred to me that would be possible. So for all the moms out there, that's not
Knock
what
on
I
the door.
meant.
Hey, it's Steve. It's
Um,
mom's day.
No, that's the day I visit my mom, and I put that in the middle of the week. So that's not what we came here to talk about. But yeah, I've been busy. December is a little bit slower. My activity does reflect the fact that pending sales are down. I think you said 18%.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it getting a little slower right about December because, we could all use a little bit softening of the pace. So yeah, I've been busy.
So curious. So we had a really cold stretch there, right? This
Yep.
is the first year that I've ever got my ass out on the lake before Christmas, right? Super cold stretch. Now we've warmed up. Any challenges with homes and inspections because of that rapid change?
That kind of stuff, the thermal shock absolutely can. You get the deep freeze, It was kind of weird. That happened real quick. And as I was inspecting, even in the beginning of December, people hadn't shut off their outside water.
Oh,
And then all of a sudden, deep freeze, it's like, hey, your water's still on. So that kind of stuff catches people by surprise. And the other thing, you get this real rapid freeze, then thaw and heavy snow. Then we get ice damming, especially with older homes that, not terribly sealed up, insulated very well. So then you're dealing with ice dams. So yeah, that's a common thing in Minnesota.
aren't ice dams? Correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't they really a insulation problem?
It's a mix. So basically what you have a thermal envelope. You have to insulate and ventilate, but also over the years, we didn't seal up our interior very well. So what you have is air leaks, like, heat and humidity is going through every little crack and opening in your ceiling and walls. So every time you cut a hole in the ceiling for a light fixture, they never sealed that up. And air would infiltrate up there. So you're still getting a lot of heat loss up through your ceiling. You got to seal up a house.
612-294-6949 is how you can reach us. We got some phone lines ringing right now. And again, appreciate you joining us here, talking to Steve Stalock, a Win Home Inspection. Steve, ice dams is a common item. I always think about water in the basement and how is that water with the sump pump, how is that going out? But we're going to continue the discussion, but we're going to go to Mark. Mark, thanks for calling the Minnesota Real Estate Show. How can we best help?
I got a brother who's selling a home up in the Zimmerman area. It's a starter home. It's 2 bedrooms, unfinished basement, 2-car garage. Pretty basic home there. He's building northwestern Minnesota, so he's get his house cleaned out. He's trying to figure out, should he put time and money into replacing like laminate flooring and carpeting and stuff like that, or should he just clean the stuff out of his house and have it listed?
Yeah, Scott.
I would definitely. It's a hard question to answer without seeing the house, but there's a couple ways you can go. If it is in too big of a disrepair where you just want to sell it as is, basically you put it at a number, collect offers, and have it gone. That can sometimes be the correct way to go. But normally, if it's just flooring, if it's just paint, if it's just light fixtures, I would normally suggest getting those things done to give it a nice facelift. But again, it all depends per property, and without seeing it and so on, it's hard to tell you, but that's the normal stuff.
Yeah, again, we're of course happy to help, no pressure at all. But even if you want us to take a look at it or to give an idea on value, Scott, generally, again, those are things: paint, carpet, flooring, lights, brightening up the property. Just kind of basic things are all still very important in this market, even though we've got very limited inventory. Buyers don't necessarily want to buy junky stuff. And there's a lot of those people out there that will, hey, we'll buy your house. Remember, though, they're buying it for a pretty significant discount. They're doing that to make a buck. So again, we're happy to help. We're up against the break already. Steve, we're going to continue the discussion with you, friend, after the break. 612-294-6949. And after the break, Scott is going to join in on a polka as well. He was so inspired by the O'Neill Brothers concert. He would like to carry on the tradition. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. That would be nice, Scott. I should have pulled you on stage.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, just anything.
Accordion?
Bring you on stage.
That was funny.
Were you thinking about it?
No, I was not. The 3 questions that people had to see which ones were not correct.
Oh yeah.
I thought for sure Tim played the accordion. That was one of the questions. Is Tim was?
Did Tim learn how to play the accordion?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3 truths and a lie. One of them was the one that was one was just regarding me having long hair, and then we showed the picture, and that was
long hair.
It was painful. It was painful. And then I even commented during the show. I said, it's okay to laugh. I said, I'm laughing too.
Was it down to the top of your ears?
Oh, it was past. It was all the way down. I said, it's okay to laugh. And the jury's spoken. The long hair is not coming back. We do have a cousin, Billy, who's got long hair. It looks super good on him. You know,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. How old's Billy?
Billy's in his 50s.
Oh, really? Still
Yeah.
looks good.
Yeah.
You got
Scott.
Van Ginkel's got long hair.
Yeah, Van
He's
Gogh.
right.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, speaking of long hair, we did have most of what you get when you do something like that is positive. We had one particular message I can think of where the listener attended the show and just said, I really think you should ask that performer to cut his long hair.
Oh no, they did not.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So you can't win sometimes.
Oh
You
my
can't win.
gosh.
It was a little bit off, unhappy with the show, and you just wished them well. So thanks for coming. That's all you can do.
Appreciate the
Thanks for
comments.
thanks for the
for-
feedback.
Thanks for the feedback.
Right, Scott?
Oh, yeah, I guess you're too nice.
I suppose that's one
How
way
do
to
you
do
not,
it.
how do you not like that show? And I liked his long hair.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was the
cellist.
cellist.
Yeah,
cello
and he was good. I mean,
Yeah.
they're both super talented,
Yeah.
and cello is hard, and he's just kind of an animated guy.
So I was thinking about that when I was watching. So what has to happen in your family life where you decide to play cello? You know-
What do you mean?
I mean, it's so
Dude.
you're sitting around going, look, do I want to play football? Am I going to make spring baseball?
You
No,
play any
you know
instruments?
what? You know what, son? I think you'd be good at the cello. And where you then go, yes, Dad, that is it. I'm going to be the cello player.
He's so terrible.
Have you ever seen those guys from Italy, two cellos?
Yeah,
Yes,
the two cello. Oh, you have not.
I've seen them. Who hasn't?
Yeah, I'd encourage my kids to play cello.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Scott's having dreams of one of his children perhaps someday playing the cello. You were just commenting how, at the concert we had two great cellists, one of which who had long hair. But you're just thinking about playing cello.
Well, I was just thinking about what happens in your family environment where, I mean, how many cello players are there? 5 in the country?
There is
In
a
the world?
lot
in the world.
So what occurs to make a child? It has to be like in your family, like all your nephews and nieces. They're all musical.
Well, they play cello.
Yeah, they play cello, but they're all musical. So I think you have to grow up in that kind of a family because none of my kids, they couldn't play anything, because it wasn't in our deal.
Steve Stalock, Win Home Inspection. I'll try to keep the show on the road here. Hey, anything else inspection-wise, homeowners to be aware of this time of year, existing homeowners?
Oh, yeah, a couple of things. You had dropped the question about sump pumps. So if you have a home that's, say, older than 40 years old, you probably don't have drain tile and sump pump. But if you do, that's something you should be checking. We're going through heavy snow, rapid snow melt. So what you're getting is a lot of water around your foundation that can seep in. Just go make sure your sump is running. A lot of people don't ever check it. Some people don't even know they have a sump pump. You need to look.
I'll tell you just from personal example, I've been guilty of that, even as a homeowner, of just every year add it as a to-do list. And this time of year, go check your sump pump, check the battery. There's backups you can do.
If you have one.
Yeah, we've had water in the basement because of my error in not doing that. So that's a simple homeowners thing that, again, if you're a new homeowner, put it on the calendar every Christmas Day or every December 31st, Scott, to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, we had a text question came in that said, what do you think the number one buyer mistake is? So I'm assuming when they're buying a home, what's the number one buyer mistake?
Mike, number one buyer mistake here. Are you from a lender's perspective or anything coming to mind? I can see your mind thinking there, Michael.
I mean, with the lender hat on, it's like not working with someone to get pre-approved and know your numbers before you get out there and start looking. I mean, I see it a lot. People will go out. It's like, we weren't expecting to buy a house, or we knew we were going to buy a house. We started looking at homes before we actually ran the numbers. Now we fell in love with this house, but the numbers don't work for us, but we still want to buy that house. And it's like, you kind of put the cart before the horse type of deal. So that would be my thing, is just getting the pre-approval stuff done early.
How about from your standpoint, Steve?
Well, from my perspective, skipping the home inspection. As a first-time home buyer, you really want to find someone you can trust, an inspector who would let you show up for the majority or all the inspections so that you can learn, ask questions. They'll teach you about the house. What's this? Where's my breaker panel?
And you're so good at that. That's one of the
That's the
many
kind of
reasons
thing-
you get great reviews,
Yeah.
referrals, is that teaching moment.
Yeah, and I look back at my personal experience owning homes. First house, there was no inspection business back in the 80s, or if it was pretty thin. I bought houses not knowing what the heck things were. So it's a school of hard knocks. But get in, learn about it, ask questions, because the day you get the keys to the house, reality is going to hit, and you're going to have to start taking care of things.
Scott, what do you think, bud?
A couple things popping in my mind, but the biggest mistakes I've seen, the biggest financial mistakes I've seen, is buyers that are unrepresented. So they're going out and they're flying blind. They're going on the internet. They're shopping. They're shopping. They're looking for a deal in their mind. They're looking for a deal, and they go and they buy a house with no representation on their side. That's the biggest money mistakes I've seen. The other kind of sideways mistake that I find myself talking buyers out of a lot is the individual. You'll see this. Oh, that's okay. I don't mind the road. It doesn't bother me. Well, if you're not represented, you'll go ahead and buy that house. The problem is it matters to 99% of everyone that's going to buy it. And at some point you got to sell it. So I think a combination of those two, being unrepresented, which I have no idea why you would be unrepresented, but I've seen it through the years a lot, and they end up paying too much. And then the other one.
Yeah. And again, I know that sounds kind of realtorish, but I've seen it a lot too, kind of putting my role with our team. I work a lot kind of as dealing with the problems, if you will, as the broker. And so what happens a lot of times is also not only being unrepresented, but maybe choosing the wrong agent. Just was talking to a friend who was moving from out of state and got working with an agent who just happened to be not really knowing what they're doing. Spent 3 or 4 months looking at a home, ended up having to cancel the contract, and wasted a lot of time. And so again, there are tons of great agents in the Twin Cities with all of the companies. Really, I mean, again, we have friends at all the companies. Just know who you're working with. The other thing, real quick, guys, I was going to say, Steve, is timing the market. Sometimes as buyers, if you try to overthink things, you try to time it. Is this the perfect time to buy? I think about, well, now it's the Bob and Kathy O'Neill House of Hope. I bought it in 2001. I paid full price. I paid $185 at the time. It's on a busy road, and it's probably worth, I don't know, maybe $350 now. So it wasn't perfect. It probably wasn't a great time. I paid full price. It's a busy road, but it's like Carl. Get in the game.
Yeah.
Get in the game and hold on to it, Steve.
That's great advice. I do look back again at my own personal experience, and I did put off home purchase for a while. And a lot of my friends got into home property investing, and they retired early.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah.
It's no, it is. It's it does sound realtors, but I truly do mean that. I don't really understand why anyone would go fly blind. When people ask me what should I do, I'm always like, quit shopping on the internet, interview 3 agents, find one that you trust, and a real easy barometer of this. If you feel like you're being sold by your real estate agent, get a different real estate agent. If you feel like they're trying to sell you into a property, get somebody else. That's not our job.
Yeah. Cut them loose.
Yeah, cut them loose.
Hey, real quick before we wrap up, there was some big news the past couple of weeks. Google may be getting in the real estate business. There was some comments and some posts about Google showing listings directly. In other words, right now you go to Google and you can hop on all the websites, coldwellbanker.com, edinarealty.com, remax.com, Zillow, etc. Interesting, guys. This could be an interesting play in 2026 where Google wants a share of that action, where instead of them going to Zillow or going to Remax, they're going to Google. Mike, did you hear anything about that? Did you hear that news?
I did hear a little bit about that. I just kind of roll my eyes at that whole thing again, because like, here's just another way to someone, it's like the conveyor belt real
They're just
estate.
going to sell back the information to us.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's just like, what are you really getting? Like, what's the benefit of the consumer? Like, what's a consumer getting on that end? You're not getting an expert.
No.
You're not getting, a trained eye to help you out through the process. It's just, I don't know. I just don't see it lasting long.
Zillow stock, I think, that one day dropped 11% with that news.
I'm
So
sure.
Hey, Steve, before we wrap up, best way for people to connect with you, fellow agents listening, consumers listening, love working with the handsome bald guy.
I appreciate that. My business phone number 952-891-4455. That's actually, I'm old school. That's an old landline. Don't text it. Best way to get in touch with me, you go to the mnrealestateshow.com website and look at the preferred partners, and my information's there. Just scroll down to home inspectors, look for that big beaming bald head, handsome bald guy. That's me. That's where you find my contact info.
Great job, buddy. We
Hey.
appreciate you.
Great to be here.
Yeah, Scott, last thoughts?
No, just happy holidays, Christmas. We will be back. We won't be back till the new year. So
Yeah.
happy New Year. We won't see you until after the New Year. So have a great New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Mike, last thoughts? Yeah, just, I think we're going to have a great 2026. I think it's going to be steady and predictable, which is kind of what we all wanted over the last couple of years here. And so get out there if you're in the market, reach out to us. We'd love to help.
Oh, I did until Google's getting involved. Now I'm depressed.
Hey, thank you, everybody. Thanks to Ryan Perpich for coming in to deal with us every weekend. We appreciate you listening. We're here to help your family however we can. Please don't ever hesitate to reach out. Have a safe holiday season. Take care, everybody. Thanks for listening. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us, dealing with it. Mike came through with his hotspot. My hotspot wouldn't connect. I'm like, hello, no hotspot. Steve, good job.
Great to be here.
You taking the
Everyone
day
have a
off?
Great year.
You taking the day off?
I have my daughter,
Oh,
son-in-law, and my 2 grandsons in town. So we're gonna live it up and have fun today.
Scott, and for you?
This is my mom's day. I'm just going to go out and knock on a bunch
No,
of moms'
you
doors.
are. You're going to go home. You're going to pull up YouTube, and you're going to learn how to play cello.
Yes. I am not musically inclined, but no, I've got clients later today and watch a little football after that.
Yeah, a little football tonight. Hey, thanks everybody. Fellow agents, anyone, reach out to Mike Overson, Luminate. Awesome local company. They do a wonderful job. We're huge supporters of the O'Neill Foundation of Hope and our concerts. We're grateful for Mike and his team. They're a local bank again as well. So I think you're paying out close to 4% on savings or something like that. 3.5.
I think it's 3.5 now. Yep, 3.5 on our savings.
Yeah, they're a local bank. So be sure to check them out, everybody. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back